Howdy y'all, Q here, and today we're going to be talking about the DOD FX80B and Ross compressors in general, and how they're not actually compressors. Let's get to it.
If you made it this far, welcome to the Q Show. Gonna learn a thing, it's probably in the title.
Alright, before we even start, can we talk about how cool it is that I have one of these? It actually puts out 10 volts just like they recommend. Whoa. It doesn't really make a difference, I just feel cool for having it. First things first, we'll talk about the actual pedal. I'm gonna detail a little about how the circuit works under the hood, and then we'll do some sound demos. Yes, I am gonna make you learn first, I'm sorry. Not really. So let's talk a little bit about Ross compressors and what they're actually doing under the hood. At the heart of every Ross style circuit is an OTA chip, which stands for Operational Transconductance Amplifier. It gets a little fuzzy for me as far as like the specifics of it. I'm not an engineer, but as I understand it, it is taking voltage coming in, which in this case is going to be our guitar signal, and regulates it to a specific amount. That is predetermined in the pedals. What they add for variety is a overall level knob, which is just kind of the final output. It actually doesn't interact with the chip at all. And the compression knob, which what it's doing actually is it's feeding it back into the chip. So it is raising the gain and pushing it closer to its internal threshold, which is more compression because you're like pushing it closer to that brick wall. That's where the Ross compressor ends. There's a very popular mod called the attack knob, which I guess was inspired by these. You'll see here it says release, but on earlier models it said attack. It's the same knob. It's just they felt like this was easier to understand. I see it more as an attack. When you look at it that way, I could see why they did that originally. But it ultimately affects how it releases. So we're gonna check that out in a minute. That's basically Ross compressors. Let's check the pedal out. Clean tone. All right, so I'm just gonna play like a little lick. Clean. On. This has a huge spot in country because when you do those like big hits, when you turn on compression, it almost makes it like more pad. And it's like a very satisfying. What's cool about a pedal like this is because it is limiting your overall output, you'll sit in a mix better. So in a live performance, you can hit the guitar really hard or really softly, and you're more or less sitting in that pocket. It gives you the freedom to be more expressive on the instrument without it kind of getting in the way of the final result. This is done to guitar tones in the studio anyway, so to be able to use it as an effect gives you a little bit more control over your final sound. Let's dig into the release knob a little bit. I'm gonna put it all the way down, play a simple lick. I'm gonna put it all the way up, play that same arpeggio rather, and we'll see if you can hear the difference. All right, that's one. Now we're going to turn the release knob all the way up. All right, so you hear how it seemed quieter the second time. So it wasn't just that. What it actually was once it clamps, it actually is staying clamped down. The one thing that validates this is the first hit sounds the same both times. So check it out. More or less the same, but everything else, it's gonna be totally different. If I wait, it opens up and I can get that same attack on each one. That's gonna vary depending on like what your style and what you're playing. But it's cool that it's there. And there we have it. What did you think? Did you know that all these Ross compressors are actually limiters? I was a little surprised to find out, but I guess once you think about how it sounds like super squishy, it does make sense that it would actually be a limiter. Do you have a pedal like this? Do you want one? I feel like it's a pretty firm staple in any rig. I may or may not have one of these for sale. I'm not sure, but I guess you could check my Reverb page and find out. I would like to thank my Patreon subscribers, and if you are still watching, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on my other platform things. Again, I'm Q, and this was the Q Show.